Live? Am I ready to go live? Okay, so hi everyone. So it's Richard Farley Property Consulting. So just give you a bit of a background about what I do. So I have over 10 years of sales and negotiation experience. So I work in the lending space, car loan space, new home sales, in the construction industry, as well as designing homes and plans for clients. So last year I founded a company and started my own buyer's agency. Out of frustration, through my own property journey with no guidance, and I'm here to help and teach others not to make the same mistake I made. I remember when I purchased my first property with no help, don't know what I was doing. The agent's that good. Till this day, still in my head, got me $500 above the price that's been listed. Now, who pays that? No one, right? So that's why I did a bit of study, and I'm going to teach you and tell you how not to make that mistake what I made earlier as part of the negotiation process. So now when it comes to negotiation, there are a few things you need to know up front, and these are very important. It's called what they call the basic homework. So you need to know what the property is worth as a starting point. So now what I mean by that is you've got to do a bit of research, find out the comparisons. It's very easy, real estate domain, those are free access for you. And if you want to, you can subscribe to RP Data or Price Finder. That will get you the price of what that property is worth. So at least you have an idea of comparisons before you go in with an offer and going, oh, did I overpay or what am I actually doing? Right. Read over the contract with the solicitors. That's very important because there's a lot of hidden information in there, lemons and information like that you're not aware of. Get an expert to read over it just to make sure. Building pests is also very important as well. If possible, you always got it done before you make an offer. However, sometimes not possible, so you have to do it after you made an offer. But you do obviously risk that chance if it's under cooling off period that you lose that 0.25%, usually a few $1,000. So the expensive exercise is case by case, but I always recommend trying to get that done before when it's possible. Make sure your finance is in place before you make an offer. If you're not approved, don't make offer because that's the easiest way to lose your money and you will not get it back. So you all get worked up for no reason. Right? So these are the things, the basic homeworks, and the other things you need to look at is prior to making make an offer, you need to look at the facts and figures and take the emotion out of the property. Emotions are danger zone, and that's what lead to high prices, right? So you need to level-headed, think about what price you'll be paying, and so on. So, and that avoids you risk of overpaying. Number two, you need to understand the negotiation environment. What I mean by that is, firstly, you need to find out why are they selling the property. Sometimes a real estate agent will tell you that, sometimes in different ways you can find out. So find out the real reason, motivations, whether it's a deceased estate, they want to sell it quickly, or whether owners bought something, or they haven't bought anything. That will determine how you negotiate and what condition you settle on. The other things that you find out, the agent behavior. It's not that easy to find out, but if you do a bit of Googling, have a look at their previous sales, past sales, or whatever happens, you get an idea of what their behavior is like. Some agents like to do volume. What that means, they just want quick sales, get in and out, turnovers. They don't really care about the actual vendor itself. And whereas some agents like to go fishing game and achieve the highest price. So you've got to work out who you're dealing with, how you're dealing with it, through the interaction process, doing a bit of research. That's very important to understand the behavior. Once you have an understanding of both of those, it makes the job a lot easier. Now, the other thing is before you start negotiation, not every property is perfect. You need to look for the flaws in every property. I just did one recently where my client didn't pick it up. I said to, look, it's facing a T section and downstairs it does not have a shower to powder. So guess how much a shower to powder costs just to add in there? They had to put the whole bathroom back. That cost $30,000. And the agent told me $3,000. Put in my phone, had my contact there, and I said $30,000 to put the whole bathroom. And that forms part of my negotiation to bring down the prices. So every property, you always got to look some sort of flaws. Nothing's perfect. Doesn't matter what it is. There's always something wrong with the property, right? Pick out the negatives, not the positives. And that's how you put the prices up. And lastly, ask the right question. It's going to get you the right answer. Trying to fish out as much information as possible out of the agent. Do your own research. Find out all those information. The more information you have, the more you arm yourself with ammunition to go back to negotiate with someone with, right? If you've got nothing to negotiate on, then it means nothing. and you need some justification. So when I do negotiations, I always back it up with evidence, data and stats, and that's how I get a good price for a client, because those things are really important. If you don't have those, agents are going to say, where do you get this figure from? And that's how they're going to present on the other side to the seller to convince, hey, why should you sell at that price? Like the deal I done recently at 1.5, they start at 1.6, which is a dreaming price. I'm down to 1.55 initially, I got it done 1.5. And the reason I got it done is I justify my reasons. I'll tell the agent to go back to the owner, be realistic about it, and these are the reasons why. These are the flaws. And the owners agreed. Took a few days crunching back and forth, but we got the deal done. So these are basically how you do it. Now the last part, how do you actually negotiate an offer? Don't be scared, embrace a lowball offer started with. Once you go up on the prices, your offer will never come down. So start with a low offer, be reasonable about it, not too low, be realistic or else it makes like a joke. Something that's reasonable, but start with low and then work your way up. Once you go up, you can never go down. So that's the number one rule. Number two, try to find out the flexible conditions the other party is willing to set. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. When you're looking at a contract or when you're looking at buying a house, you're looking at what's the reason behind the owners actually selling the property. These come down to their motivation to sell. So if they haven't found a property, for example, you can offer them a longer settlement condition, 90 days instead of standard 42 days in New South Wales. That's going to give them more chances of finding a property that's more favourable. So it's about creating, sometimes it's not about the price, it's about creating that favourable condition for the seller to sell it to you. Even they might have a high offer, they look at differently because that's more favourable to them and you might be able to get it at a lower price. But it's case by case, like I said, do a bit of detective work. The more you find out, the better it is. The other thing you have to look at is have a look at the building and pest and solicitors reviewing the contract beforehand is very important. So you need to make sure those things are done and those things will actually increase your confidence on making that offer. You're 100% confident and you're not backing off and makes your offer a lot stronger, not 50%, not what you thought. I'm going, give me that deal, give me this price, I'll sign it right here, right now. Right? So you've got to have all those things done and when you negotiate, you've got to strike it while iron's hot. And always apply pressure on the agent with your offer. So the way I do things typically, I don't set it as 3 day or you come back to me, I set them a deadline. I set a daily deadline. So if I make an offer today, I said the offer expires end of today. If you come back to tomorrow, the offer's gone. So what's that going to do? It's that mental pressure you're going to create on the other side with the buyer, with the seller, where they're going to think, oh, I'm getting offer today, expires tomorrow, I need to get this done. So it's create that urgency, trying to get it done and put pressure and to get the deal done. And of course, you need to take all emotions out of negotiation, be level-headed, take that part out and just focus on the facts and figures. Think like an investor when you own up your home buying property, and that's how you're trying to get the lowest price possible. Once you start working on emotions and then you end up paying higher and higher price, right? And negotiation happens all times of the hour, so it's not 9 to 5 office hours. Some of my best deals are after hours, even 2 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because those are the best deals after hours, they can talk, they can have a chat, and trying to make it happen. So just have a think about those things. How long got left? 2 minutes? Okay, so I'm going to touch briefly over the auction and how to secure a home. So with the auction environment, it's very simple. You just got to set a limit what you're willing to pay and be prepared to walk away. So that's homework I've done beforehand. And you obviously never listen to the agent at auction. They're there to work your emotions. So whatever they're telling you, someone else, that's another buyer, they'll be telling the same thing. Walk up another 20K, you have a house. They're telling the other person the same thing. They are there to do their job to get the highest price possible. So you don't listen to them or the auctioneer, right? So there's a certain strategy you go into, which I don't have time here at the moment. Be aware of the surroundings. Don't look at the auctioneer, don't look at the actual people. Focus on the other bidders. Be aware of the environment, how many bidders there is in the environment, how many people actually bidding. Look at their body language. So if you know how to play poker, you'll master this and perfect this very well. So that's part of it, what you need to be aware of. And the other things, if you're the highest bidder and the reserve's not met, they will typically tell you to go outbid yourself to get the property. never ever do that. If you're the highest bidder, there's no bidders in the room, I say you're blessed. What happens? You go into negotiation afterwards, reserves not met. And this is your best chance of securing your property because you're the highest bidder and there's no competition. And the owner knows that they're not going to sell at this price, their expectation's going to come down, or they're not going to sell on the day. Right? So the agents probably will work them up, and so that's where is your crunch time is, trying to get that deal done, apply pressure, and trying to get done next hour before anyone else or other competition comes up. And lastly, take all emotions out of your bidding and just focus on the facts and figures. And this is a reason why they use a good buyer's agent that helped them to do all the things. So that's pretty much my wrap for today, and yeah, thank you.